Hey friends, it's Simon Hurley from Inklips and welcome back to another video. Now today I'm going to be showing how to use stencils to do some stamping, which seems a little out of the ordinary, a little bit backwards, but trust me, I'll walk it through in today's video. It just gets a little bit more use out of your stencils, which is so awesome, and you get a cool reverse effect as well. So let's turn down my work surface and get right into it. I was showing this technique all day at Creativation and it is so much fun, so I wanted to share it again with you guys. I'm going to be using my Cordial Critters stencil. I absolutely love this one. It's got lots of fine lines in it, but a lot of stencil left over, which is what you really want for this technique to get an awesome result in the end. So let's pull out my stencil from the packaging. Now these stencils are made out of a really thick material, which is super awesome, but one side is a little bit matte and one side is more shiny. You can kind of see there. You want to use the shiny side for this. You can use either one, but I find that the shiny side works best. So I'm going to take my piece of Stark White cardstock, grab some of my Simon Hurley Create inks. This is one of my favorite color combinations if you want to try it at home. It is Bee Sting, Tropical Tango, and Slippery When Wet. So what I'm going to do is just take my ink pads and I'm just going to rub them on the surface of this. Now when you're doing this, you don't want to just lightly tap on the surface, right? You want to really get lots of ink down onto there. So don't be afraid of a little pressure, add tons of ink to the surface. You want all the ink to transfer really vibrantly on there. So then I'm going to go in with Tropical Tango. You can kind of bud these up next to each other. It's not going to ruin your ink pad if you get a little bit of ink from one onto the other, so don't be too worried about that. Try to use the lightest color first if you can. Of course, here I am going in with Slippery When Wet last, but if you can use the lightest color first, that's going to kind of keep your ink pads the cleanest. So then I'm going to add my yellow at the bottom here. And you guys are going to be so excited to see these backgrounds. Now, if you did get a little bit of ink on from one ink pad to the other, the easiest way to get rid of it is just grab a dry cloth and wipe the edge until it goes back to the original color. And that's how you're going to clean out your ink pad if you did get a little bit of the other ink onto it. So then what I'm going to do is grab my spray bottle and I'm just going to spray the surface of my stencil. Now you want to spray this quite a bit, right? So let me show you. You want your ink to be able to move and run on your surface. If you want to kind of mix the colors together already, you definitely can to get a really cool effect, and it makes new colors in between. I'm going to clean off my surface before I bring in my cardstock here. Then I'll bring in a piece of my Stark White cardstock and we're going to flip it down onto my surface. Now I'm using Stark White cardstock because it's going to take that color really nicely onto there and it's going to sink in a little bit faster than watercolor cardstock would, which I really like. Now what I'm going to do with this is press onto here, and you want to press with either a rag or a paper towel because that's going to pick up any color that seeps out and it's going to keep those lines pretty nice and clean, which is really a great thing to do. So you want to make sure you're using a cloth instead of just your fingers. Now usually I would wait until it's all super nice and dry, but since I'm using just regular Stark White cardstock, it sinks into the cardstock a little bit more and won't puddle too much on the surface. So here we have this awesome background once it's all done. I love that you can stamp with your stencils to create a really cool effect, and of course each background is going to look totally different with the way the color is blended, but I love that you get kind of a green and a new purple in between there with the water as well. Now let me show kind of a variation of that technique. So let's go in here with the Lou stencil. I love the detail on this one, and I'm going to show you a different way to do it that's a little bit more intricate, but gives a really cool effect in the end. So I'm going to grab a little bit of Woof ink, which is my gray color, and I'm going to just add this onto the surface of my stencil. So I've added my ink onto the surface of the stencil, and now I'm going to go in and spray that down to make sure that we can get the color moving. Let me wipe off the surface here, and then we'll go in with a piece of Stark White cardstock, and we can stamp this design right down onto our card. So let me just grab this. We could even stamp it down there. And then let me grab my rag here and just blot off the color. And this is going to, again, remove any color that seeps out of that stencil. So it's going to impress this gray into there and remove any excess color. So once I'm done with that, we're going to lift off the background, and here is a cool way to just get the reverse pattern of the stencil. So again, if you want this cool detailed design like this, it looks almost like a background stamp, which is super cool, right? But I'm going to show you how to even add more to this to create a really cool design. So this is cool by itself, but now we're gonna step it up a little bit. So once that's all dry, I'm going to bring in my stencil again. We're working on the station now because we want it to stay down, and I'm just going to line that up with the gray lines of the design, and then we're going to magnet this down, and what I'm going to do is blend my background. So let's start off with a little bit of Guppy up here. I'm going to go in with my orange and just start blending this. And what we're doing is we're filling in any white part of the design. So it's gonna almost look kind of how I designed the stencil. I actually designed it off of some bathroom tiles that I saw. That's why it's called the loo. So now we are kind of filling it in, and this almost looks like grout, you know, in between tiles. So I like that we're kind of going in with that look. It makes it less contrasted because it's that gray instead of the white, but it creates a really cool effect in the end. And this has definitely been one of my favorite color combos of late. It's lots of awesome color. We got Guppy, Bee Sting, we're going with a little bit of Crown Me. But what I like about my inks, and I've been saying a lot too, because at the show we kind of discovered this, is that they really blend and have a hard time making mud. You know, colors that aren't supposed to blend together really do, so it really allows you to go in and try whatever colors you really want to get a super cool effect in the end. Then I'll bring in a little bit of Tropical Tango. So let me lift off my magnets. I'm super excited about this. And there we go. Again, if you want to use whatever color you want in there, you totally can. I like the little gray because it adds a little bit less contrast but creates a really cool effect in there. But of course, you could do this with whatever stencils you want to create this kind of beautiful effect with another color in there. I love doing it with other stencils too. My Stargazer and Looks Like Rain, as well as the Leafy Green stencil, would be really great to do contrasting colors to create some really cool effects. To finish off both of these cards, I'm just gonna do something really simple, right? So all I'm doing is taking the Encouraging Words stamp set, and we're just going to stamp some sentiments down. Now this is super easy to do, but I've got so many people telling me how much they love these sentiments because of how easy it is to finish off a card, right? So that makes that card totally complete, and I love just how happy and cheerful these sentiments are. So if you have a friend that needs a little bit of cheering up or a little bit of a pick-me-up, instead of a sad sentiment, just send something that's really nice and encouraging. And so that's why I love this stamp set. And for this one, I'll just stamp it down with "You Are a Blessing." And there we go. There we have a nice finished card. And of course, there are tons more sentiments and little icons in here. I think this set is really cool because you could just create a whole bunch of ink blended backgrounds and make a bunch of these and send them as a note card set to give as a gift so that somebody can send them out to their friends and spread the love as well. But it just makes a simple card so complete with a nice big bold sentiment. Alright guys, I hope you so enjoyed today's video as much as I did. I love both of these cards with some fun stenciling techniques. Stencils are super versatile and also at a great price point, so I hope you guys will check these techniques and stencils out. I'll leave everything that I used today linked down below so you guys can go shopping if you enjoyed anything. And if you liked the video, please give it a big thumbs up and be sure to hit the subscribe button down below to never miss another video like this one. Alright guys, I'll see you very, very soon for another card making and crafting video. Have a great day. Bye!